Namaskar doston, welcome to SRIRAM's IAS UPSC channel. And today again I have come up with another question of ethics in our series of 1 PYQ a day. 2024 का क्वेश्चन है, बहुत ध्यान से देखिए. 150 वर्ड्स का आंसर लिखना है आपको और 10 मार्क्स आपको मैक्सिमम मिल सकते हैं और मैक्सिमम मार्क्स गेन करने के लिए ही ये सीरीज चालू की गई है. तो बहुत ध्यान से इस क्वेश्चन को देखिए और उतने ही ध्यान से इसका आंसर लिखने की कोशिश करिए, इसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट को समझने की कोशिश करिए. देखिए, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ जस्ट एंड अनजस्ट इज कॉन्टेक्सचुअल. जस्ट जस्टिस, आपने फेयर जस्टिस, नॉन आर्बिटरी, नेचुरल जस्टिस, इन सब के बारे में सुना होगा. तो जस्ट क्या होता है और अनजस्ट क्या होता है? समथिंग विच इज फेयर इज जस्ट, समथिंग विच इज नॉन आर्बिटरी इज जस्ट, समथिंग विच इज अकॉर्डिंग टू लॉ इज जस्ट, something which is according to morality and ethics is just. There are things which are according to morality and ethics appropriate, but at the same time law wise if you see it is not appropriate. So there is always a contextual thing which is applied to these things, and what is just today may not be just tomorrow. What was just yesterday may not be just today. These things changes, and it depends on societies also. What is considered to be just in USA or Britain may not be considered just in India. So time wise, space wise, the context of these words changes. अब क्वेश्चन में भी आपसे यही पूछा जा रहा है कि भाई जस्ट और अनजस्ट जो हैं ये दोनों कॉन्टेक्चुअल हैं. ठीक है, आगे पढ़ते हैं क्या लिखा है. What was just a year back may turn out to be unjust in today's context. So that is what we have studied just now. Changing context should be constantly under scrutiny to prevent miscarriage of justice. Examine the above statement with suitable example. अब देखिए दोस्तों, suitable example से आपको ये समझाना है कि जो चीज आज just है या unjust है, कल वो चीज उसके विपरीत हो सकती है. That is what the question is all about. अब मैं आपको एक एग्जाम्पल दूंगा and you will be able to understand exactly what the question is trying to say. आप भारत में कास्ट सिस्टम बहुत पुराना है और कास्ट सिस्टम के अकॉर्डिंग ही एक जस्टिफाइड प्रैक्टिस चलती थी, वो थी अनटचेबिलिटी की. अगर आज आपसे पूछा जाए मॉडर्न इंडिया के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में that this untouchability is justified or not, everybody will say it is not, and everybody will give the example of Article 17 of the Constitution which says that untouchability must be abolished in all its forms, and it should be a punishable offense. If somebody practices untouchability, he is doing a crime. So think about India 100 years back. Untouchability was sort of justified by the caste system. Morally if you see, it was not justified. Ethically if you see, it was not justified. But in today's context, neither it is morally justified nor ethically justified, neither legally justified. It has been abolished altogether. तो आप देखिए context change हुआ ना, context has changed over a period of time. Similarly, if you see child marriage का justification आज से 100 साल पहले था बट आज नहीं है. चाइल्ड मैरिज इज अ क्राइम. सती प्रथा को भी सैंक्शन किया हुआ था रिलीजन ने, सोसाइटी ने, बट दिस सती प्रथा वाज अबॉलिश्ड. सो व्हाट वाज जस्टिफाइड यस्टरडे इज नॉट जस्टिफाइड टुडे. अब देखिए, जो जस्टिफिकेशन है ये हर बार मोरल जस्टिफिकेशन है, एथिकल जस्टिफिकेशन है, लीगल जस्टिफिकेशन है. दीज थिंग्स कैन वेरी. समथिंग विच वॉज मोरली एंड एथिकली जस्टिफाइड मे नॉट बी लीगली जस्टिफाइड, और समथिंग विच वॉज मोरली एंड एथिकली अनजस्टिफाइड वॉज लीगली जस्टिफाइड. बट ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम कॉन्टेक्स्ट चेंज हो गया. इंटरनेशनल सिनेरियो में भी अगर आप देखें तो आपने स्लेवरी के बारे में सुना होगा, और यूएसए में स्लेवरी एक बहुत ही लीगली जस्टिफाइड प्रैक्टिस थी. Morally and ethically it was not justified. All men are created equal. They have same worth, value and consideration, same dignity. But slavery, it was rampantly practiced, legally practiced in USA. स्लेव्स की खरीद फरोख्त होती थी, लीगली होती थी, और आप अगर एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में बाउंड हो तो आप जीवन भर स्लेव रह सकते हो। आप पैदा भी स्लेव हुए हो, आप मरोगे भी स्लेव। So that was the practice and it was abolished at one point in time because it was considered to be morally wrong. पर देखिए आप, जो चीज justified थी, with time it became unjustified. Sedition law की बात करते हैं. What about sedition law? अगर if you see the Indian society and you go a couple of decades back, this sedition law was very much justified by the British Empire. Initially, after the independence also, there were several laws which were quite brutal. But in today's context, it is totally unjustified. You see, because of the freedom which people are gaining, because of the changing society, because of the introduction of social media into our lives, the freedom of expression has become very, very wider. And because of this wide freedom of expression, too many things have come under its ambit. Right to life and personal liberty. This particular article, Article 21 of the Constitution, has become a mammoth article. It has become so big that almost everything now comes under the umbrella of Article 21, life and personal liberty. It has to be human existence, cannot be animal existence. And for human existence, you need better sleep at night, sound sleep at night. At the same time, you don't want your environment to be harmed. You don't want global warming. You bodily integrity for women. Okay. If a woman wants to have child before marriage, she can have it. That was very much justified few decades back. Adultery, it's okay now, but it was not few years back. So see what was just and what was unjust. One example comes to my mind: suicide. The person who is committing suicide is and fails into it. Commit kara suicide or suicide ho nahi paya, the person is still alive. The person was sent to jail for that, but it was very much justified legally few years back. फिर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उस पूरे केस में एक रूलिंग दी जिसमें कहा गया कि द पर्सन इज ऑलरेडी अंडर मेंटल स्ट्रेस एंड देन द पुलिस कम्स एंड अरेस्ट दैट पर्सन एंड पुट हिम behind the bar for committing suicide. Now that kind of thing which was very much justified legally has become unjustified now. All those things have to be kept in mind when you are answering this question. और ये हर जगह चलता है. प्रोटेक्शनिज्म की पॉलिसी आप इकोनॉमिक्स में देखिए, प्रोटेक्शनिज्म की पॉलिसी है. प्रोटेक्शनिज्म, लाइसेंस राज, ठीक है, ये सारी चीजें, ऑल दीज थिंग्स वर जस्टिफाइड. बट एलपीजी रिफॉर्म के बाद, लिबरलिज्म के बाद, ग्लोबलाइजेशन के बाद, जो इतना रैम्पेंट ग्लोबलाइजेशन आपको देखने को मिल रहा है, भारत में प्राइवेटाइजेशन बहुत तेजी से हो रहा है, लिबरल पॉलिसीज गवर्नमेंट बना रही, उसके बाद ऑल दिस प्रैक्टिसेस हैव बिकम अनजस्टिफाइड. सो व्हाट वाज जस्टिफाइड हैज बिकम अनजस्टिफाइड. नाउ व्हेन यू आर डिलीवरिंग जस्टिस, दिस चेंज, दिस कॉन्टेक्चुअल चेंज हैज टू बी केप्ट इन माइंड. Because if you deliver justice based on what was justified years back or even 1 year back, then you will be doing a miscarriage to justice. It will be a miscarriage to justice. Passive euthanasia, mercy death, all these things which were unjustified has become justified now. एथिक्स और मोरालिटी के कॉन्सेप्ट भी टाइम के साथ चेंज हो रहे हैं और लॉ के कॉन्सेप्ट भी मोरालिटी के टाइम के साथ चेंज हो रहे हैं. एलजीबीटीक्यू कम्युनिटी के बारे में पहले ज्यादा नहीं सुना जाता था, धीरे धीरे सुना जाने लगा और उसके बाद फाइनली उनके राइट्स अंडर आर्टिकल 21 बहुत ज्यादा प्रोमिनेंट हो गए हैं. सो सोसाइटी इज चेंजिंग. व्हाट वाज जस्टिफाइड years back is not justified today, and vice versa. At one time, if you are a gay, you would be punished for that, but today somebody who is a gay proudly says that the person is gay, isn't it? So all these changes have come into the society because of the changing nature of the society. The concept, the contextual nature of what is just and what is unjust keeps changing over a period of time, and you have to write this answer with suitable example. I'm very much sure you will be able to write it if you know the examples and if you know the context behind it. You can write a very good introduction, body and conclusion. In the body you can exemplify all these things, you can put these things as a showcase to show that the thing, like for example untouchability or slavery here, or apartheid, which was justified years back, is not justified anymore. Okay, even the this freedom of expression, the kind of wideness it has got now, it was not justified years back, but now it is. Temple entry to women, Sabrimala case, all these things are very important cases. You must remember that. Environmental protectionist cases, the basic structure. You can go into the arena of politics also. That the parliament making changes in the constitution through amending it, it was allowed. But after the basic structure doctrine and the introduction of it by the Keshwananda Bharati case in 1973, arbitrary changes, arbitrary amendment into the constitution, which in some or the other way infringes or violates the basic structure, is no more justified. You can add that also. So you can write wide amount of thing. In the conclusion, you can write that this contextual understanding of what just is and what unjust is shall not remain and does not remain only in one field, but it is widespread in social, economic, political and cultural fields, isn't it? So this is how you answer this question. So thank you very much for joining me in this one PYQ a day series. In next episode, I'm going to come up with another question of ethics and going to discuss it with you so that you can gain more marks, more understanding of a particular topic. Thank you very much. Have a nice day and Jai Hind.